always believed marriages didn't break in a single moment. It happened slowly, like tiny cracks you don't notice until the whole wall collapses. For Lena and me, it began with little things: missed dinners, late meetings, a phone she suddenly kept face down, a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes anymore, but I convinced myself it was stress. She worked at North Shore Global, a high-profile corporate consulting firm where everyone chased promotions like oxygen. "Big project," she'd say, kissing my cheek without actually touching me. "I'll be home late. I'm tired. Can we talk later?" Later never came. I'm Ethan, 233, freelance designer, quiet by nature but deeply observant. I noticed shifts, patterns, silences, and the silence at home had gotten loud enough to echo. So when she suddenly said, "Ethan, we have our annual corporate event next Saturday. I want you to come," I was stunned. She never invited me before, never even suggested it. She claimed spouses would be bored or that it was too formal. But this time, she insisted, her voice soft, her smile forced, her eyes a little too nervous. Something was off. Still, I said yes, because despite everything, I still believed in us. I didn't know then that I was agreeing to walk into the night that would break my world open. Saturday arrived quickly. She wore a silver dress, elegant, flowing, professional, but beautiful. I watched her get ready, trying to read her face, but she kept her eyes down. "You look amazing," I said gently. She hesitated before answering. "Thanks." That hesitation was another crack, but I swallowed it like always. In the car, she scrolled her phone nonstop. I tried talking. She gave half. I asked about her coworkers. She changed the subject. I asked if she was excited. She said, "It's important." Important. That word would haunt me later. As we pulled up, the Hilton Grand Ballroom towered above us. The entrance lit with gold accents, guests stepping out of black cars in expensive dresses and suits. Lena straightened up. "This night matters," she whispered. "Just follow my lead." Why did she say that? Why did her voice tremble? But before I could ask, she was already walking ahead, heels clicking with practiced confidence. She looked like she belonged. I looked like the shadow trailing behind her. Inside, the ballroom buzzed with polished conversations and forced laughter. People greeted her warmly. "Lena, you made it. You're glowing tonight. You ready for the big announcement?" Big announcement? She never mentioned one. But I didn't have time to ask, because then he appeared. Derek Matthews, her senior manager. Tall, perfectly groomed, charismatic smile. The kind of man who looked like he practiced charm in the mirror. His eyes lit up when he saw her. "Lena," he said, stepping close, a little too close. "You look incredible tonight." Then he glanced at me like I was an afterthought. "And you must be," she quickly cut in. "This is Ethan, not my husband, not my partner, just Ethan, a stranger." Derek didn't shake my hand. He nodded once, dismissively, and turned back to her. "We should talk about the presentation soon. Don't disappear on me." He touched her arm lightly, and she didn't pull away. I felt the crack widen. I should have left right then. But betrayal isn't always loud at first. Sometimes it whispers. And I wasn't ready to hear the scream it would become. Lena moved through the room like someone I didn't know. Confident, polished, charming. Every colleague greeted her with enthusiasm and confusion when they glanced at me. Some nodded. Some smiled politely. Most ignored me completely. I wasn't introduced properly. I wasn't included. I was simply there. The first time she introduced me, it stung. "Oh, this is Ethan," she said, waving toward me with the same tone someone uses to gesture at a chair. No warmth, no pride, not even a glance my way. The next few interactions were even worse. "This is Ethan? He's just here with me. He's fine. Just here. Just here." I stood inches away, yet somehow miles from her life. People at her table laughed loudly. Inside jokes, casual intimacy. I didn't know what they were talking about, but she did. She was completely at home among them. I was the outsider. Every time I tried to stand beside her, Derek would slide in, effortlessly placing himself between us. "Let me steal her for a second. We need to rehearse the intro. She's essential for this project." And Lena let him. At one point, Derek leaned close and whispered something to her. She smiled. A smile I hadn't seen in months. A smile she'd forgotten to give me. When she walked away with him, her hand brushed his lightly. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't innocent. It was familiarity. My chest tightened. I finally sat at one of the small round tables. A coworker, a woman in her 40s, sat next to me. "You're Ethan?" she asked quietly. "Yes." She nodded slowly, then lowered her voice. "They've been close lately." My heart dropped. "What do you mean?" She hesitated. "I should mind my business. Please tell me." She sighed, pity in her eyes. "They stay late a lot. Travel together, have private meetings. People talk. I don't know what's true, but the way she follows him around." Her sentence trailed off when she saw Lena approaching. Lena didn't even look at me. She walked straight to Derek. He smiled warmly at her. "You ready?" he asked. "Always," she replied. "Always." Something inside me cracked completely. The woman beside me whispered one more thing. "I'm sorry, Ethan. Sorry." That word told me everything. I stepped outside to breathe. The cold night hit my face like a slap. What was I doing here? Why was my own wife treating me like an inconvenience? A burden? An accessory she didn't want to acknowledge? I leaned against the balcony railing, staring at the city lights. My hands were shaking, not from the cold, but from something far worse. Humiliation. For the first time, I asked myself the question I'd been avoiding. Is she cheating on me? I hated the thought, hated myself for thinking it, hated the signs for being so obvious. But the truth hides in behavior. And tonight, her behavior screamed. When I finally walked back into the ballroom, I saw them before they saw me. Derek and Lena, talking intimately in a corner. Close, too close. His hand touched hers. She didn't flinch. She didn't look uncomfortable. She looked familiar with it. Like this wasn't the first time. I stepped forward, my chest burning, and her eyes widened when she saw me. She quickly pulled her hand away. Derek smirked. "Everything okay, Ethan?" he asked, like I was a child interrupting adults. I swallowed my anger. "I'd like a moment with my wife." Lena stiffened. Derek raised an eyebrow. "She's a bit busy right now." I took a step closer. "I wasn't asking you." His smile faded. "Good." But Lena shocked me. "Ethan, please, don't cause a scene." A scene. Was I the problem now? Was I embarrassing her? I nodded slowly. "Don't worry, Lena, I won't cause a scene." Then I walked away. My legs felt heavy. My throat felt tight. I wasn't leaving because I was weak. I was leaving because I knew the truth. Tonight, my wife had already chosen who she wanted to stand beside, and it wasn't me. I made it halfway through the lobby before I heard her heels running behind me. "Ethan, wait." I didn't turn around immediately. I couldn't. If I saw her face, I might break. She grabbed my arm. "Why are you leaving?" I looked at her slowly. "Because you treated me like a stranger all night." Her mouth opened. No words came out. "I stood there watching you laugh with him, watching you ignore me, watching you pretend we weren't married." She looked around nervously. People were watching. "Ethan, not here." "Oh, now you don't want a scene." Her eyes filled with panic. "Please, listen." But Derek wasn't far behind. He walked up fast, pretending to look concerned. "Is everything all right here?" I glared at him. "This is between me and my wife." He stepped closer. "Lena, do you want me to stay?" "Stay?" Why was that even a question? But Lena whispered, "Derek, just give me a minute." He didn't move. Of course he didn't. He wasn't used to being told no. In that moment, everything clicked. The late nights, the hidden phone, the coldness, her excitement around him, her fear of him watching her now. My voice shook. "How long?" I asked her. She froze. "How long have you been seeing him?" A gasp came from behind me. Someone overheard. This was no longer private. Tears filled her eyes. "Ethan, it wasn't supposed to happen." "I swear it was happening," I said quietly. "You didn't treat me like your husband tonight, because you haven't been treating me like one for months." One tear rolled down her cheek. "I'm so sorry." Derek stepped forward. "Lena, stop. You don't owe him." I turned to him sharply. "She owes me everything." He smirked. "You're overreacting." But Lena suddenly snapped. "Stop, Derek." Her voice echoed through the lobby. Everyone froze. And then the truth finally burst out of her. Lena wiped her tears angrily. "I'm done protecting you, Derek." His face shifted from confidence to fear. In an instant, people were gathering around. Executives, coworkers, managers, the perfect audience. Lena took a shaky breath. "Yes, Ethan, something happened. It started as emotional, long nights. Compliments, support. I was stupid, weak, and Derek took advantage of it." She looked at Derek with disgust. "You told me you'd ruin my career if I pulled away. You threatened to bury me in HR complaints. You said no one would believe me." Gasps, whispers, phones quietly recording. Derek's face drained of color. "That's not true." "It is true," she screamed, voice cracking. "You manipulated me, used your position, pressured me, and I was too scared to tell Ethan because I thought he'd walk away." I stared at her, chest tight. "And tonight?" I asked softly. She swallowed. "I was terrified he'd find out. I didn't know what to do. I treated you cold because I was ashamed." Her shame didn't erase the pain, but it finally made sense. The cracks had a source. Derek tried one last time. "Lena, think carefully." But an executive stepped forward sharply. "Mr. Matthews, my office now." Derek paled. "No, this is being twisted." The executive cut him off. "We've received complaints before. Consider yourself suspended until further notice." For the first time, Derek looked small, powerless, afraid. Lena sank to the floor in tears. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt exhausted. This was the truth I thought I wanted, yet it hurt more than I imagined. Lena sat on the lobby floor, shaking. I crouched beside her but didn't touch her. "Ethan, I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I should have told you. I should have come to you. You were always on my side. Always." I closed my eyes. "Then why didn't you?" "Because I didn't want to lose you," she cried. "And because part of me liked the attention, liked feeling important. I was drowning at work, and he made me feel seen." Her honesty pierced deeper than lies ever could. She looked up at me, eyes swollen. "I was weak. I know that. But I never stopped loving you. I swear it. I didn't know how to escape it." I exhaled shakily. "You could have told me. I would have helped you." "I know." She covered her face. "That's why I hate myself." Her voice cracked. Her shoulders trembled. She looked broken, but so was I. We stepped outside into the cold night again. For a moment, neither of us spoke. She finally whispered, "Can we please go home and talk?" I shook my head slowly. "I can't go home with you right now." Her face crumpled. Ethan, please. I held up a hand. I'm not punishing you. I need space. I need time to understand what's left of us. She blinked back fresh tears. I'll do anything to fix this. I know, I said quietly, but I can't fix something that's shattered tonight. Her breath hitched. What does that mean? It means, I whispered, I need to heal before I can even think about forgiving you. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. Because if I let her touch me, I'd break too. She cried harder. I hated seeing it, but some pain is necessary. Take time, I said gently. Figure out who you are without him, without fear, without lies. And you, she whispered. I'll figure out who I am, without this hurt. She nodded slowly, accepting the consequence she created. I walked toward the street. She didn't follow. For the first time in months, she let me go. I stayed with my brother for a few weeks. Lena texted daily. Long paragraphs, apologies, promises, please. I didn't block her. I didn't hate her, but I needed distance to breathe. In those weeks, I rediscovered myself. I worked more. I slept better. I reconnected with old friends. I spent time outside. I felt lighter. Lena went through HR investigations, mandatory interviews, and endless whispers at work. Derek resigned before they could fire him. She told me later, I deserved the consequences. I needed to face them. She wasn't wrong. When we finally met again, in a quiet cafe, she looked humbled, softer, human. Ethan, she whispered, I still love you. I want to rebuild, but I'll accept your choice, whatever it is. I studied her. The woman I loved, the woman who hurt me, the woman who confessed instead of hiding. We can try, I said finally, but it will be slow, and it will take work. She nodded immediately. Anything. And for the first time, I believed her. Not because she cried, not because she apologized, but because she finally chose honesty over fear.